the old regime, and of course continues to bring in another kid with the new regime. So number one, you don't understand this. I did not see a well efficient civic education about the new model
yes.
of funding. So the students are confused, the parents are confused.
Confusion seems to be the theme in this current regime.
And the president is so okay with this confusion, and actually he spearheads more confusion. After one confusion, he blackmails us with another confusion. We forget about the confusion, comes into another confusion. Actually, you're messing up with the mental health of Kenyans. Yeah, because now this is 275,000. You do not know whether your kid fell under the first model of funding, which is, I think, 70% scholarship, 30% help, and 25% and 5%. All those specifications, there are 5 groups of funding. So now, and most of the parents fall under the very critical one that has the biggest percentage being paid by the parents. Now maybe the better one is paying around, my course, Bachelor of Education Arts, will pay around, the parents or the household is has a responsibility to pay around 50,000. So 50,000, this is the parent who is overtaxed in fuel, gas. Now you're bringing in, there are no medicine, transport is complicated. Now this is fees. The portal is down. The deadlines are there. The students differ. You know, there are no bursaries.
They can't even apply for bursaries and help because they don't have IDs.
They do not have IDs. These are ID issues. You have to get, I don't know, a hand to hame Kenya ama tufanye nini? Because even getting an ID is costly.
Uwezi hama pia, nataka kuambia, kwa sababu passport hazitoki.
Passport.
So hakuna mahali unaenda.
Nilisikia hazitoki kwa sababu hakuna karatasi.
Printer imeharibika. Printer imeharibika.
We got to be serious.
It's crazy because even when you go into government institutions or offices, hata ukienda Huduma Center, utafika hapo akwambie system imehang. Na si tuko kwa system, like tumefika kwa system. System haifai kuhang, right? And you've mentioned something there about, you know, diversions after diversions. Tukishamaliza hiyo anatufunika nyingine, right? And brought me back to when you talk about the security advisor. We were out of the housing levy, and then you know, that was thwarted by the courts, and then and then the president probably
he will bring something next week, because the main thing that is making Kenyans not to concentrate on the issues that really matters the most. Kenyans are going to forget that the cost of living is still high. The dollar is going to 170.
You give them a topic to keep them busy and forget that they're paying taxes. They are being overtaxed.
The airport is still flooding.
Oh, we forgot about that.
We forgot about that. There is no electricity at the airport.
Let me ask you the same question I've asked Grace then.
Yes.
Are we saying it's impossible to fall in love with our country? Or
you see,
what is it that we are at
there's a time that Jesus advised, because that man is very spiritual as well. I also want to kumsaidia kidogo afike hapo.
Unamwattack from all corners.
Nataka kumsaidia afike hapo kidogo haraka. Jesus told a man who came very frustrated about his wife. Mimi nimekaa na huyu bibi, sioni mapenzi. So Jesus told him, you know, sometimes when it's not working, we can separate, we can go your own ways. Before it reaches that point whereby, because this marriage is not working, Kenyans, we are saying, this man, we complain that my party leader, for lack of a better word, anatumia ile kitu, si ndio? Kasema sasa hata tutafute nani? Tafute nabii, si ndio? Tafute nabii, si ndio? Who can make sober decisions?
Honest men.
Yes, right? Truthful men.
Truthful men.
Apparently it is better to trust, si ndio?
Uwezi kumaliza hiyo.
It's better to trust, si ndio? But than to go to these other ways. We're in serious trouble because
this marriage isn't working.
He
renewed the constitutional vows. Yes. I call them constitutional vows. Recently when he invited CJ na speaker Wetangula kanduko wakarenew hiyo marriage, wakasema sasa tulikuwa tumesahau ile vile watu hufanya wana renew marriage after 60 years. They did that and I thought this marriage is going to work.
Really blackmail. It's like he learned very well.
I was just laughing this week because the majority whip at the Senate, one Boni Kalwale, he was reading his children on a list. And so it just took me back that Mr. Ruto is the type of guy that will force you into a marriage, whether you like it or not, and also force you to have kids with him, whether you deliver or not. So he's forcing Kenyans to deliver what they cannot. We know, so many Kenyans know their paycheck. Richard, we talked here 2 weeks back about pension. Right? It was the topic of the day. How many parents today are at their homes 2 years down the lane without any pension?
Nothing. Contribute all those years, but
60,
now they can't get it.
40, 20, 30 years of public service with nothing to take home.
It's very sad.
It is very sad. It is very sad.
Grace, we have a story of a fierce woman. I thought that you will be the one to handle. I see it's also time is not on our side. It's 9:49, which means we have under 5 minutes to touch on some of the stories that we've left. I think we've covered the most important ones so far. eCitizen, Kelvin Kiptum, Raila Odinga on Ruto, and of course that eCitizen nightmare being the main one of the ones that we've talked about there. I saw, where was it? I think you were the one actually pointing it out to me.
Page 12
of the Standard.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get to it. There is former First Lady Lucy Kibaki and Police Chief Mwangi Kingori at the time. They're at Nation Center and they're holding the Standard. They're at Nation's Media, but they're holding the Standard. Maybe a piece of nostalgia here, Grace.
I don't want to feel attacked because I have a little touch of Nyeri.
A little?
Yeah,
okay.
Just a little touch of the Nyerians. And
you just need a little salt to make the food taste, right?
Actually, before she goes on, it has reminded me of what you were saying there about Kalwale parading his family, to say, these are my family, these are my wife, these are my children. I remember former President Mwai Kibaki also coming out in press and saying, niko na bibi mmoja na ni huyu ako hapa.
I was preparing you for that story because I knew you were going to there.
Grace, take it away.
So the first thing that is very interesting here is that she storms in the Nation offices and she's holding Standard, and she's very intentional about the publication made.
So you think she wasn't confused? Because I thought maybe she forgot where Mombasa Road is and Standard Media Group is.
She could have been confused by anger.
Okay.
But she was very intentional about the message she wanted to pass. So her going to Nation with Standard was just to portray a picture that I don't want this. I stand with her. Actually, I stand with this woman.
Okay. She offered a few slaps here and there.
Yes, he slapped a camera guy.
I'm not so sure whether
KTN camera guy.
Yes.
So probably
walked into studio, slaps my guy here.
Yes, yes. So what most Kenyans don't know is, I think none or 2 nights from before her storming, Lucy Kibaki was living. She had a residential home in Muthaiga. So there was a World Bank manager who was given promotion. So he threw her a party.
Okay.
So she was very upset because she complained that the people are very noisy. And are giving her a sleepless night. So Lucy stormed into the police station.
So that's why Grace is supporting her.
So she stormed into the police station.
Rightfully so.
We must have a reason.
Now the allegations were